episode I feel I belong with my friends. Would like to educate you guys on the ins and outs of pregnancy while having sickle cell. So if you guys could just introduce yourselves, tell us your name, your sickle cell type, how old you are, your profession, and your child's name.
My name is Tiffany. I'm Fly with Me TT on Instagram. I'm flight attendant, 28 years old. My son, he'll be 2 January 23rd, and I had sickle cell SS.
I forgot the whole list already. But my name is Deidre. Lupe will enter my Instagram name here. I'm 28, and my daughter is 8 months. And the type of sickle cell I have is SC.
Okay. So, to kick off the interview, my first question, if you could describe your pregnancy in one word, what would you use?
It was just new.
New. That's a good one.
Very new.
And you, Tiffany?
Never again.
No,
it was painful. It was painful.
Painful?
So, yeah.
Okay. So, did your hematologist change your care plan during your pregnancy?
During mine, yes. Because we're considered high risk. That was the only thing they really had to change. So normally when I go to hemo, it would be every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But being pregnant, you gotta go like every 3 weeks.
Oh,
I don't know if it was the same.
Same? Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely the same. Like he changed my appointments like basically every week.
Right.
Yeah, come in there, come in this. Okay. Every week I would see him, so.
Oh,
Okay, it's me, back again.
Did you have any concerns like prior to being pregnant or during your pregnancy?
I think my concern was just basically because my son's father, his aunt had sickle cell. She was talking to me about it. So I think my concern was, am I going to have an emergency C-section, preparing for that, and also what complications I'm going to have once I give birth. Like everything was going good, but just everything could change once you get into labor. Like everything could change up like the eye. Like your delivery plan, your birthing plan could change so much. Like you had one plan here, but then something happened, so you had to change everything.
Right.
With me, definitely, like I was very much scared because I've never met anyone with sickle cell that had, a child.
Right.
So it was like everything was new, and it was like before, like in the first stages of finding out that I was pregnant, I was like very scared because I'm like, I don't want to die. Like instantly, like I was just scared. Like I don't want to die, giving birth, or like I don't know what's going to happen. So that's overall like what I was afraid of and concerned.
All right. So going into the next question, were you aware of your partner's blood type? I know you kind of tapped into your child's father's aunt having sickle cell. Did you know whether or not he had the trait or not?
He didn't tell me. Guys, like, to be honest, guys, like, no diss to guys, but guys don't go to their doctors, they gonna get blood work done.
They don't do that.
Like, I asked my son's father, I was like, who's your doctor? He was like, well, I don't know. So, yeah, it's like, he didn't tell me, it was just a whole whirlwind. I had to wait till my son was born before they could do this.
Child, girl, same thing. Like, I didn't know his blood type, anything, like, and we kept trying to get him to go, and it was just like, pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Pulling teeth.
Every
Every time I would go to my appointments, they were like, well, did he find out yet? I'm like, girl, no. Every time, girl, no. They'll hear this like ask me, but then, like, I only found out, like, at that first appointment, like, after the baby's born, and I was like, please, fingers crossed, like.
Right. Yeah. Were there any changes to your health during your pregnancy, like your overall health? Did you notice any differences?
For me, my pregnancy was, like I said, it was painful. Like when I first found out I was pregnant, I didn't have like nothing was going on, no morning sickness. But then as soon as I told my parents I was pregnant, the next day, my morning sickness was just kept on going all the way until like month 8. Yeah, month 8.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it was like. I was at University of Penn first, but then they wasn't treating me how I need to be treated. So then I went to Lincoln and they treated me how I need to be treated. So they would always keep me for like 2 days in the hospital, like because I couldn't keep down nothing. Like I was dehydrated most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't like take pills. Like my prenatals, I rarely took them because it made me sick.
Yeah,
so
me too.
it was so I lost, like, you know how people gain weight. I lost weight like
Wow.
the entire time. Like, but the 8 months when it came, I gained a little bit of weight. As soon as I like dropped Zion, they was like, "Dang, you little snapback." You know? And then they saw how big Zion came out, and they was like, "You sure you was pregnant?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go through it, but my health is like I had to constantly keep on going to my doctor because I lost a lot of blood when I delivered Zion. Like, it got to the point where my doctor was like, "Okay, Zion or you?" Like that's the question they asked me because I literally almost died on the operating table when I gave birth to Zion. So that's why I said don't get Zion. I might go do it.
What was the question again?
What changes did your pregnancy have on your health?
I feel like the same. Like I had as soon as I told my family that I was pregnant, literally it was like boom. Like I instantly started throwing up. Like I couldn't only certain things I could eat, and then I would literally bring up everything. Like I was sick. I was really sleepy. I know some of that is a part of just being pregnant,
right?
But I feel like it was going on. It was to the point where I would cry because it was I would buy food, spend money on food, want to eat it, and then you will bring it up right away, and it's it don't even settle in your stomach. You bring it up, and it's you're so afraid to eat. It's
right.
Let me just go eat this hot dog and just call it.
Yeah, I can only eat burgers. I think mine was burger and potatoes, and I couldn't drink regular water. It was I would either drink Pepsi or I would have to get Capri, the Capri Sun water type thing. So
I was drinking Capri Suns too. There was something else I couldn't. It was something else I can't remember, but things were different.
So that kind of taps into the next question, which is, did you have a sickle cell crisis in your pregnancy? And if so, was it different from your norm?
I had one.
Okay.
I had a lot.
Yeah, I had one, and my doctors they gave me an antibiotic. So I remember I was in the ER, and it was just a lot of things going on. I was constantly throwing up and everything like that, and these mofos gave me fucking morphine.
Oh god.
And I was they shot it at my arm fast.
Yeah.
So I went through a crazy episode, to the point where I couldn't even walk to the bathroom. I think I cursed out everybody in the room. I cursed out my doctors. I think I cursed out my mom. I think I cursed out everybody. But after they gave me that morphine, and then with me going through my crisis, it was it was horrible.
Yeah, I definitely had some crisis, and then it was just bad because normally I can manage my sickle cell, but when you're pregnant, you're is it the pregnancy or is it my sickle cell? You're kind of confused. But then it's it wouldn't go away. I felt it was lasting longer, and then I had to get admitted, and then it was so scary because when they're giving you medication while you're pregnant, they have to be careful of the baby because the baby can get addicted to the medication that you're taking. So they have to give you a dose that manages your pain, but also doesn't harm your baby.
Wow,
so,
that makes sense. Sheesh, yo.
So everything is kind of scary. It's
rightfully so.
Yeah. So if you do have sickle cell and you're pregnant or you plan to get pregnant, I really just advise people to find a good hospital or people that really understand sickle cell, because I feel if they don't, you're in danger, girl.
So let's move on to the labor aspect. Did you have any complications, and if so, what kind?
Yeah, like I said, I did have complications. Zion, he couldn't, he was losing oxygen, and they had to put an oxygen mask on me. But then when I was ready to push, I don't know what happened, because I was just so in a daze, because they gave me a epidural, and then I was just in a daze. And when I was ready to push, something happened where they couldn't get him out. So they have a window of time to get the baby out, and I was pushing it to that window of time, and they was all right, it's like, if it comes down to it, you were Zion. I was like, Zion, like, save my son, like, my son, like, save my son. But after a while, he came out. They had they used a balloon. I think that's what it was. I forgot what they used. I was just. I just didn't care. I was like, just get him out. Just get him out. But I did lose a lot of blood. I lost a lot of blood.
Wow.
Like, a lot of blood. And I ripped, like, a lot. So,
Jesus.
Man, listen. When my doctor was like, so we're going to have to put this many stitches. I was like, stitches? For what? They say, you know you ripped. I was like, I didn't know I ripped or anything. They're like, yeah, so we're going to put this many stitches. I was like, so do I have to come back to get them, like, taken out? She was like, no, they dissolve in you. I'm like, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, all right, go ahead. Yeah. Once I had to come back and you just had to rip things out. So.
Right.
Yeah. Well, with me, I ended up having an emergency C-section, and I feel like that was a breeze. Like, I feel like I kind of like the fact of getting a C-section because you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything. The only reason why I had to get the emergency C-section was because Maya, I wasn't provided enough nutrients for her, so the doctors were monitoring. I forgot what it's called when they
put the belly thing.
Yeah, they put this.
Yeah, the heartbeat.
Yeah, they put this thing on you, and it's like it watches her heart rate and something else it does. But her heart was like slow. Her heart rate was it slowing down? No, her heart was fine, but she wasn't moving.
Okay.
So when they realized she wasn't, I went in because of a crisis. So I guess. Let's back in.
Just imagine, like, you have a crisis and the whole thing come out.
I'm like at home and I'm like, I feel like I'm having a crisis. And then it started getting really bad. I'm like, because I forgot, what is it, like Braxton Hicks?
Yeah.
And I'm like, at first I'm like, is that it? And I literally screamed so loud. It felt like a really bad, like, sickle cell crisis. And I was like, no, I gotta go to the hospital. And when I went, I'm just thinking like I'm not in labor, like I'm fine. I'm just having a sickle cell crisis, and then they put the little thing on, and they're like, "Well, she's not moving, but her heart is." So I'm like, they're like, "We think we should take her out." And I'm like, "No,
Keep her there a little
So then, like, the doctors come back a little bit later, and they're like, "She's moving around," but like something in me felt like they were just saying that because they admitted me, and the next morning they came in. Probably, I want to say like 10 o'clock in the morning, and they hooked me back up again, and they were like, we don't see any movements, like her heart is beating, but this is not okay. So they were like, we need to get her out. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, as soon as I signed those papers for my C-section, I swear, I feel like they just threw me on the bed. Like, they didn't waste no time. I feel like they were like really patient with me.
Right.
Okay. They got her out of there, and she was 4 ounces, but she was really tired.
That was so funny.
I was there right when you got that.
That was funny. I didn't know I was in labor. Like somebody told me, was like, yeah. So if you have to go to the bathroom and feel like you need to take a poop, then you're going to be in labor. I was like, no. So I went to the bathroom and I just couldn't get up. I was like, what is going on? I was like, Mom. She's like, come on. She was like, where is he at? I was like, I don't know. Like, I think he's at work. She was like, okay, we don't have time to wait. She was like, can you get there yourself? I was like, I gotta drive there myself. Like, I was in pain too, like, because the contraction just started happening. Yeah. I was in pain, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna drive. So I drove myself, and then the doctors came out, because I called my doctors before. They came out rushing. They was like, did you drive? I was like, yeah, nobody around. So I had to drive. She was like, okay, we're gonna have her get you upstairs. Like, how's the pain? I was like, it's pain out, and then I just couldn't walk. And they was like, okay, we're gonna put you in a wheelchair.
Honestly, I feel like how other people say their pregnancy went. Like, don't just automatically assume that's what yours, because it's like completely different. Like, I wish people said like a lot of things that I've experienced. I was like, well, when was y'all gonna tell me this happened? Y'all left this part out.
Right. Alright, so post-pregnancy, like the babies are here. Did you feel like your sickle cell was different?
No, I feel like mine went right back to normal.
The same.
I feel like I still experienced crisis. Well, that's always been. But I feel like maybe more than before I was pregnant. But it's not as bad. Like,
not bad.
It's kind of still kind of
the same.
The same.
Okay. Okay, so pregnancy is always a risk. Being a black woman,
Yes.
your risks are increased. And then you add on sickle cell on top of that. So you kind of answered earlier. But my question to y'all is, would you do it again? Is that like absolutely no?
Absolutely no.
Or like a chance?
It's only because it's like, if I do have a child, I don't want, like, what if I don't know the child, like, the guy, his blood type?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want, like, my child to go through the same pain I went
That you
through
went through,
personally.
right.
So, luckily, Zion, he only has a trait, but I just don't want my child to, my second child to actually go through the entire thing. Because I don't, these men don't know what their blood types are. So, no, Zion's one and only.
Well, like with me, I feel like before having my daughter, I felt like I always wanted to have a child, even though I had sickle cell. Like I feel like it was different because my mom, like I had the disease, so my mom didn't really know what to do, and it was like all new for her. But I feel like me, you know, having the disease, I'll be able to, you know, understand and relate to my child, and you know, so. But mine only has the trait. As far as like the whole experience, right now, I feel like I'm one and done because like I'm still trying to like
navigate through
navigate.
Yeah.
But probably like in the future, I don't know. Like I might.
Maybe.
I don't know. I might.
Right.
And it's, the only reason why I said I might is because I liked having a C-section. But I didn't like the aftercare, and that's just for another day.
That can be tough.
That was real tough.
All right, so last question. Do you guys have any advice for individuals that are interested in having children that have sickle cell?
Just make sure you have a village behind you, and make sure you talk to your partner and tell them about your complications, because a lot of people say they understand, but they really don't understand. And then talk to your doctor and share everything that your doctor said with your partner to tell them, like, hey, if I have a child, this is going to happen. Make sure that they're on the ball, because that's number one, is just having a care plan and a village behind you.
Right. Definitely, I think you should have a really good support system because you're going to need it. But I definitely feel like if you're meant to have a child, you'll have your child. So don't let anyone put fear in you and make you feel like because you have this disease that you're gonna, like, you know, die, or your baby's gonna have this and that. Like, everything's already planned out for you, and it is whatever. What's the saying?
Whatever's meant will be.
Yeah, that's it. So you'll be good.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for coming and being open. Maya and Zion are beautiful babies. I love them. Their pictures are going to be in this. So send me those. But yes, thank you guys for coming out. I love y'all. All right, and cut.
Look forward to it.
Hey!